Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, and today is the Wednesday check-in. It is September 18th, 2024, and thanks for hanging with me. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to podcast.hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the podcast that is updated every Thursday, and then head on over to the blog, hellocupcakeitsme.com. And make sure that you follow me on all the social medias. You'll find the links in the comment section down below. And check out my upcoming book, Carpe Diem Scroto, 365 Daily Affirmations, scheduled for publication November 2024. And you can find that at www.cdsthebook.com. So, how is everybody? Yeah. My mental health is still hanging on by a thread. Everything is pissing me off. Everything is causing massive amounts of just upset, massive amounts of crying, everything else. So I am doing the best I can right now. Still having a shit ton of problems with my biological mom. Still dealing with that bullshit. Every single time I get a phone call from a Portland area code that isn't registered in my phone, it just okay, this is it. I've been answering every single call that comes through my phone or comes to my phone, even if it's private or marked potential spam or whatever else. I still answer it because, what if? Friday, she was sent, Thursday or Friday of this last week, she was sent back to the hospital. Her social worker came to visit her at her house and found her laying on the floor, and she had no recollection of how she got onto the floor. So, in the process of falling to the floor, she made a mess of herself and other things around. So the social worker got her cleaned up, got the ambulance called, got her taken into the hospital. The hospital did not contact me, even though I'm on her medical records as first contact. Never once did they contact me. Apparently it was the hospital that she had her surgery on for her hip. And it was actually her social worker who called me to let me know that she was in the hospital. So I get a call Monday from my biological mom, and she's like, "Oh, I'm home, and my apartment is fucked up, and I don't know who the hell would do this, and blah blah blah. I don't even know why the hell I was in the hospital." I said, "Well, Mom," and I explained the whole situation to her. She's like, "I wasn't on the fucking floor. I was laying in my bed." I said, "Well, your social worker came in and found you on the fucking floor. Regardless of you remembering that or not is irrelevant at this point. Why the fuck are you home?" "What do you mean, why am I home? I shouldn't have been at the hospital in the first fucking place." I said, "Well, what did the doctors tell you when you were at the hospital?" "I can't remember." Okay. Did you re-injure yourself when you fell? No. They did a bunch of tests on me, though. What kind of tests did they do on you? I don't know. They took a bunch of fucking blood and they did. I'm just like, oh my God. So, yesterday, I called the hospital. I was like, I need to know what the fuck happened with my mother and why has she been released. So the one person I talked to, she's like, well, I don't have that information as to what was done, but we released her to her caregiver. I said, she does not have a caregiver. And they're like, excuse me? I said, she does not have a caregiver. She has a guy that she gets high with that she claims is her caregiver to get her out of the hospital faster, but she does not have an actual caregiver. And I said, if you look in her paperwork, only 3 people are allowed to make any kind of medical decisions for her when she's in the hospital, regardless of cognition. So, who the fuck did you release her to? Why did you release her? And I'm going to need to talk to a doctor or someone who treated her while there. Well, uh, uh, no. She should have been kept for at least 4 days. At least 4 days. Friday to Wednesday at the very least. She should have been kept. So I called her social worker and let her know, hey, BT dubs, she's back at home. Her social worker's like, I will call you in 45 minutes. I'm like, okay. So 45 minutes, social worker calls me. Why is she home? I don't know. Why is she home? like, we need to make it that person that has brought her home twice now has no ability to do so whatsoever. We need to block him from her residence. We need to block him from being able to go into the hospital. I mean, he could go and visit her all damn day long, but he's not to remove her from the hospital without consulting me or my sister. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna file another APS report. I said, fuck APS at this point because they're not doing shit. There's been 3 reports filed. What the fuck more needs to happen in order for APS to take place? So we have this 35-minute conversation of just what's going on, whatever else. And I said, you told me that you were going to be getting her an actual caregiver. When is that taking place? Well, I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what's there to figure out? She's been approved by age and disability. She's been approved by her doctor. She's been approved by multiple different organizations. Get her someone so we could get this asshole the fuck out of there. So, yeah. And on top of it, yesterday was her birthday, and I tried twice to call her. No avail. So I don't fucking know. I'm I'm just done. I know I said that in the last video. I know I said that in the last podcast, but it's true. I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm at that point of anger now. Before I had a little bit of sympathy, a little bit of just like, oh, boohoo, whatever. Now I'm literally at the point of just fuck it, angry rage. Like, to the point where I want to drive my car down to Oregon, kick in her fucking door, slap the shit out of whoever happens to be there, and just shake her until like her head falls off, and yell at her and just like, the fuck, woman. So all of this has brought on a whole new slew of mental health issues that I didn't even know I had because I've never exhibited it before. I've had suicidal ideation. This is the first time that I've had self-harm thoughts of like playing it out in grandioso detail of like harming myself. And I had to snap my, like, no, motherfucker, we're not, no. I took a couple of days and did a bunch of research and kind of did like a little bit of a shallow dive into self-harm reduction. And I'm actually going to be taking a couple of classes. I just gotta like figure out which class is going to be the one that I need to start with, because I've never dealt with self-harm before. The closest thing to self-harm I've ever done was when I was a teenager, like somewhere between, well, when I was, yeah, I know 12 isn't a teenager, but somewhere between 12 and 14, I carved my initials into my leg and the initials of the person that I had a huge crush on at the time, and was actually the person that I lost my virginity to. So, you know, I had that whole bullshit rattling around in my head. And I used a compass to do so. You know, the thing that has a needle at one point and the pencil at the other to draw circles. Yeah. So I took like a handful of Tylenol. I think it was maybe ibuprofen, something, I don't know. I just know that I went into the bathroom, got a handful of it, took it, drank some water, grabbed about, I don't know, a pound of ice and stuck it on my leg until it was completely numb. And I just sat there and carved my initials. And I remember going to school a few days later, and one of my teachers saw it and caused a big to-do about it. Like, I wasn't allowed to have any kind of sharp objects near me or whatever. You know, by today's standards, that would have been huge fucking red flags. CPS would have been called, the whole 9 yards. But because, well, the 90s were the 90s, stuff like that wasn't as strictly enforced. But that's the closest thing to self-harm that I've ever done. And I didn't think that it was that big of a deal. But when my teachers were asking me about it, I was honest with them. I said, well, this is somebody that I love or that I care about. I can't remember the terminology that I used at that at that like inquisition, but just said, you know, this is somebody that I care about, and it didn't hurt. This is how I did it. This is when I did it, and there was no blood from it. I cleaned myself up, put a little bit of peroxide on it, and called it good. And for years, I still had that like scar on my leg, and I don't anymore. But yeah, so I've never dealt with self-harm before, so it's definitely something that I need to brush up on, especially like for my peer counseling stuff, and just so then that way I could also talk to other people who are going through that and being able to, like, okay, well, maybe you shouldn't do this. Have you thought about XYZ, whatever else? So there's all that. I'm also right now fighting with my primary care doctor's office because I found a doctor who came recommended by NAMI, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness or something like that. I forget what their thing stands for. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, National Alliance on Mental Illness. Anyways, the doctor specializes in pain management, specializes in psychotherapy, and does ADHD testing. I need a doctor that does ADHD testing. I've talked to my primary about it. I've talked to my secondary about it. I've talked to my counselor about it. So they're trying to say that I need to have a referral. And I'm like, I don't need a fucking referral. This doctor accepts Medicare. I'm Medicare. I'm traditional Medicare. And I have Medicaid. And this doctor is within the network of Medicare that I have. And they're not a specialist. So I don't need a referral. Why the fuck do I need a referral? So, yeah, fighting with that. And I am getting tired of the nurses answering letters that I am directing to my care team. I know that the doctors are busy, but if I say, hey, Dr. So-and-so, I need you to do XYZ, blah, 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 I want that to actually go to the fucking doctor. I don't want the nurse to see it. She doesn't need to know that I have a rash on my balls or, anything like that. Like, if it's not directed to my nurse or whatever else, because I always put it in the subject line who I'm directing that to. Directing it to Dr. So-and-so. I'm directing it to this or that. Or I'll just put in, this is what I need, like in the subject line. I don't know. I'm done dealing with small town healthcare. But whatever. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. Talked to the illustrator tonight, and it looks like they are going to try to have the illustrations to me by Friday. I told them, if you can't get it by Friday, at least to me by Monday or Tuesday of next week. And that's where I'm at right now. Just recently upgraded my MacBook to Sequoia, and I see no difference between Sonoma and Sequoia outside of the fact that my computer is running a lot slower with Sequoia on it. But it's upgraded to the latest thing, so all of my projects and stuff are now able to run on the latest softwares and things like that. I've got my work laptop here, this laptop that you're seeing in my glasses right now. This is my book laptop. So, anyways, yeah, got a lot going on, a lot. But yeah, got my new printer all set up. So that thing's moving. Just kind of stuck in neutral right now with everything else and not having the mental capacity to push forward. But, well. So, anyways, I hope you guys are doing a lot better than me. Last night, last night moving into today was the full moon. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of emotional hoopla and things like that. So I'm like, yay! Basically, a Mercury retrograde 2.0. Woohoo! But, anyways, like I said, hope you guys are doing a lot better. I'm going to let you go now, but make sure that you check out all of the social medias, check out my book, check out the podcast, like, subscribe, and all that other fun stuff. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.